Goldonis, and this is my third laboratory exercise in data communications and networking. For this activity, or for this exercise, I was tasked to configure an IP address and subnet mask to its host in Cisco Packet Tracer. So uh, to do that, I'm supposed to construct a simple LAN design that can communicate between the hosts and then simulate how the packets flow in this LAN design. And and of course, to create a simple LAN design, I need a simple network topology, and this is exactly what I did. Now, obviously, I did this off camera, but as proof that I actually configured it, um, here is the IP address which I put encoded in the default gateway. So it's 192.168.1.1. Then there's a zero at the end in the IPv4 address just to add to it. And then for the second one, it's 192.168.1.2, then a zero. The third one is 192.168.1.3, and then the last one would obviously be 192.168.1.4. So let us simulate this. Hold on. Let us simulate this, and here we go. So as we can see, the packets or the envelopes are going to their locations. They're actually starting from the switch, interestingly. The switch is sending the envelopes toward PC2 and PC3, and then the others are going towards the hub, which then redirects them to PC1 and PC0. And noticeably, the packets are being dropped, which is indicated by the X mark on the packet, which is actually normal according to my research since PCs are not usually meant to be connected to switches without being properly configured. Although I did check for some troubleshooting errors, and look, the packet just turned red, so it stopped simulating for a while. Okay, so with that, let's go to the questions needed to be answered. The first question is about the importance of a gateway. So, a gateway is essential in a network because it serves as an access point for devices in one network to communicate with devices in another network, usually outside their local network. It is responsible for routing traffic from local devices to the internet or other networks and facilitating exchange across network boundaries. Without it, device will be limited to communicating only within the local network, the same local network. So, what is the second question is what is the transmission medium used to connect a hub and a switch? And for this one, I actually used you could use a basic power connection, but for me, I was able to use a crossover cable since this is a simple LAN setup only, and crossover cables are indeed used to connect hubs to switches, and they actually work as compared to the straight through cable which I actually tried using. But anyway, I used a crossover cable for it because the crossover cable allows data to be transferred between different types of networking devices. Now on to the next question. What is the indication if the connection of my PC is successful in Cisco Packet Tracer? So obviously the number one indicator is that these are green lights. So the green lights open up over there, which means that the PC is linked to the connecting device or the intermediate device, which could be the switch, the router, or a hub. So the same thing applies with other end devices such as IP phones and laptops, and yes. And then a successful ping test. If I can successfully ping another device or gateway, it confirms that the connection is working. So off camera, I also did this, and my ping test was indeed successful. And then the third bullet, or the third point over here. In simulation mode, the packet envelope travels from the source to the destination without being crossed out, indicating successful packet delivery. Unfortunately, my packet delivery was not successful, but that is normal. Despite checking the settings and troubleshooting it myself, like checking the STP or the spanning tree protocol and checking for duplex mismatches, port security, switch configuration, incorrect IP configuration. Obviously, my IP address is correct, and yes, it unfortunately still crossed out. So it indicates unsuccessful packet delivery. So what can I conclude from the activity? Well, I can conclude that correct network configurations are crucial, of course, with the help of proper media or proper cables. Using proper cables, these correct network configurations are crucial for successful communication between net devices in a network. And of course, I also need to understand how different networking devices interact and how I will troubleshoot connectivity issues in order to help build a more stable and efficient network. So that part I didn't quite fulfill since the packet was still dropped when it arrived at the computer, but I believe I will be able to tackle that in future experiments or laboratory exercises using the Cisco packet tracer. So that is all for this laboratory exercise. Thank you for watching.